What up, Night Nation? This your boy, Stevie Knight. Block to get on one of these things, you feel me? It's good to watch. Night watch, man. Got sent some timestamps from the Clips interview up on the podcast. Never heard of him, bro. But he talking about all the ish going on, apparently, bro. Kendrick, Drake, Trav, Kanye, all that, man, as they continue this rampage on promoting for this album that's finna drop, bro. So let's get it. But before we do, like always, man, Pete the Drip Shop, StevieKnight.com. My self-development online community, man. Peep that, check that out, bro. Getting the family right, getting the goons right, getting whoever right mentally, physically, financially, all that, man. Just a dope environment with like-minded individuals trying to get better.
I'm not doing enough, beating myself up for things that I can't control.
Why do you do that to yourself? You know exactly what you need to do to get where you need to be, don't you?
My problem is believing in myself without trying to seek someone else's validation.
You know how any relationship goes. There's good things and there's bad things. But I would definitely say I was led a little astray, which I mean, I don't necessarily like admitting that.
That's life, though, bro. That's the first part of it,
No,
bro.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking way too far in the future, too, I think, and it's just kind of pressurizing.
It sounds like you're putting too much pressure on yourself, to be honest, bro.
You know, I was looking at the things that happened over the past few years, and, you know, it led me to, you know, finding you and being a part of this community, because if I would have kept going where I was going, I wouldn't be here.
And then, yeah, my Patreon, bro. Check me out. Nice watch. The Goon Squad, for real, bro. Anyway, let's tap in and see what Pusha talking about. And Malice, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, Pusha has been in the line of fire. You know, Malice been doing his thing behind the scenes. So it's just dope to see these bros back in the limelight. You know what I'm saying? Doing hip-hop shit, bro. Let's get it.
Time I even knew that there was going to be an actual Clips reunion, as opposed to a rumored Clips reunion, you know.
Yeah, right.
And debuts then at his opening Louis Vuitton show.
Yeah,
that's right.
Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains.
Years ago at this point.
Right.
So
pre-Kendrick, though.
There was no Kendrick verse in the
Or at least
runway
not that I
show.
heard, yeah.
It's been 2 years since then. There's been some conversation already about this song being a holdup for the release of this album.
For sure.
Talk to me about what a lyrics committee does at a major label as far as your understanding and your experience.
Yo,
what is a lyrics committee for our listeners?
Listen, and this is what this is how I understood it initially. The lyrics committee, from what I understand, was supposed to, you know, take your music, make sure there aren't any interpolations,
secret samples.
It's a copyright check.
Basically, that's what it's supposed to be. Since 2018, it was for me, at Def Jam, a way to censor my music or a way to make sure I wasn't having any subliminal disses or anything in anything that I did.
Yeah.
That's how it was used for me.
And your first experience with that was in the middle of your back and forth with Drake with Story of Adidon?
A baby's involved, it's deeper than rap. We talking character, let me keep with the facts. You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker.
How did that conversation go, and then how does that lead into what happened with Chains and Whips?
After Adidon, or whatever, there were quite a few records that were stopped, like, yo, we're not doing this, or was, just basically shelved. And it
Your
was
verses,
yeah,
for
my
instance, on the
verses.
Pop Smoke album.
Yeah, Pop Smoke. But the telling part was when they would get the lyrics wrong.
Oh, sure.
So it one day I forget what song this was, but there was a Pop Smoke song that definitely was that had bars in it.
Mm-hmm.
By you.
Yes, but then there was another that didn't, and they thought it did. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you're interpreting something totally wrong.
Like two different songs.
Right.
Both with lyrics by you,
yes.
one with a message and the other without a message.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew, like, wait a minute. I was like, Steven, is this shit... Are you serious right now?
To your manager.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right. We know.
Yeah.
Victor,
Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. You know, this is something this is a thing.
Yeah.
At this point,
in your mind, they were being overly sensitive about
Drake.
you rapping about another artist.
Yes.
Signed to that label. Drake, a huge artist.
Damn, bruh. I ain't know that, dog. I ain't know that, bruh. Like, this is Drake's MO. You feel me? But that don't even sound like the fucking MO, bro. That don't sound like the Drake. That came from the record labels, bruh. Like, they protecting that baby like that. Oh, this shit can't get out. Damn. That shit gay as fuck.
You rapping about another artist.
Yes.
Signed to that label. Drake, a huge artist.
Yeah.
Under the Universal banner. And they were sort of playing referee.
Fuck, that's so goddamn whack, dog. That's so whack. You know what I mean? Like, you know, with the whole Drake situation, as far as I know, I ain't even been like tapped in like I was, bro. But all that shit seems to be stemming from Drake trying to save face or do whatever the fuck it is he's trying to do individually. Bro, this shit sounds like it's the whole industry, like the whole record label. Like the industry trying to protect him. You feel me? And that shit's so anti-hip-hop. That shit's so soft. That shit's so zesty. That shit's so gay, bro. You know what I mean? Can you imagine record label trying to protect Jay-Z and the Ether shit? You feel me? Can you imagine any of these motherfuckers that have had rap beef back in the day being protected from artists? You know what I'm saying? And this was Pusha T. It ain't like Pusha T during that time was, you know, on top of the world, bro. Like he's cruising. You know what I'm saying? But a Drake, bro, the shit still got out any fucking way. You feel me? That shit's so goddamn gay, bro.
He was getting Shea Gilgeous-Alexander calls, is what you're saying.
For sure.
Whew, that's a bar. That's a bar.
Drake, a huge artist.
Yeah.
Under the Universal banner. And they were sort of playing referee. He was getting Shea Gilgeous-Alexander calls, is what you're saying.
For sure. For sure.
And at that point, you said, all right, I'll keep it moving. You put out Story of Adidon on SoundCloud instead of commercially. The Pop Smoke
that happened.
Removed.
The verses get removed. A couple verses get removed. I move on.
Right.
I just move on musically.
Right.
You know.
So then, fast forward to 2024.
Fast forward, yeah.
Drake and Kendrick do their thing.
Boom.
Drake files a lawsuit.
Boom.
You play them your new song with a Kendrick verse on it.
Boom.
Bruh, Pusha was waiting for that sure you can. Sure. Hey, shout out to Push for like, you know, keeping it G the whole time, bro. Cause he could have been crying about it. I mean, not even crying. That's a fucking valid issue to bring up, bro. They shelving my music. They taking money out my mouth. Literally, because y'all don't want the world to hear a diss track. So it make all the sense in the world why Drake and whoever else is doing so much to take his ass down. But then that contradicts this whole claim of UMG juicing Kendrick. If the MO was protecting Drake, why would they do so much to juice Kendrick and get the industry to behind him and all these bots to juice his numbers up? That didn't make no fucking sense.
How do they react?
Now
your new song with a Kendrick verse on it.
Boom.
How do they react?
They can't take that down.
Now, mind you, the energy up to that point is everybody's clamoring, oh, new album's coming, so on and so forth. Excitement. Everybody's ready. Listen, we 10 songs, 11 songs, 12 songs away. I mean, you know, close. We show up with the Kendrick verse. And everything's halted. It's halted. It's said that it will not be put out. What? They just didn't want to put it out. They would not speak via email.
They didn't want anything in writing.
Yeah, the label would not send emails.
Nothing in writing.
Nothing in writing to my management. They would call my management, 10 times in a row, trying to get all of this, trying to, just plead their case. Mm-hmm. Now, there was nothing even to be they didn't like the optic. In my opinion, they didn't like the optics
of two Drake foes teaming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Did there a line they pinpointed?
Censor? They pinpointed a line where the phrase "trump card" was used. Right. And so stupid. Like it's like the phrase "trump card" was used, and they said that they didn't want any problem with Trump or something.
Bruh, this shit wild as fuck, dog. Hey, this shit crazy, bruh. This shit crazy, dog. This shit so fucking soft, bro. This shit weird as fuck, man. These fucking weirdos.
Thing like that as well.
Unrelated to...
unrelated. Even unrelated. Yeah, totally unrelated.
Just a Trump.
Yeah.
A Trump.
Yeah.
So you felt like they were looking for something?
Of course. They were looking for...
To halt the optics.
1,000%. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
And how did you guys take that? They said either censor this verse, take him off, or what?
Well, we ignored it because it was so crazy to us. We were like, nah, this can't be real. This can't be real. So we ignored it. And then one day, I believe it was Steve Gawley made the call.
A lawyer
at UMG and was like, hey, look, I'm not stupid, guys. You guys aren't stupid. You guys aren't, changing anything. We'll drop the clips. Pusha has to stay. And
as a solo
we'll just
artist.
We'll just have to move on. But that doesn't work.
Sure.
Right? That doesn't work. Ultimately we were like, yo, what's the way to do the business? Like how can we buy ourselves off of this label?
Right. And Steven Victor, your manager, gave an interview with Billboard. He said there was essentially a 7-figure payment to free you guys from your contract.
Yeah.
They're going to take a little bit of profit off of this new album.
Yep.
So here we are 20 years later, and you're still in the
label
thick of
drama.
it with label drama.
Yeah.
Like, was that dispiriting to you when you're like, all right, I'm back, I'm ready, I feel good, I'm centered, and yet here I am.
I want to know this answer because I never asked.
All right, that's fine.
Like, were you like, I'm too old for this shit.
Listen, not even, because like I said, I'm not attached. If it go down, great.
And if it doesn't, also fine.
It still don't. But like I
worried about that.
I mean, like I could vomit every time I have to hear about somebody else's name in our interviews. That we can't just get back to the music and to deliver what it is we're trying to do. All the red tape, all the politics. I don't like nothing about it. But I'm cool because I've seen it before. I didn't expect much to change. The only thing I'm elated about is, like I said, to make the kind of music that we make, and just to be arm in arm with my brother while we out here doing the things that we have to do. But I don't like any of that.
Push, I'm curious how you feel about that, because you have 20 years worth of music under your belt.
Yeah.
Classics to many people, and yet there are still people who only know your name in association with the names of other artists, whether it's Kanye and Pharrell, people you've had fruitful creative partnerships with over the years.
Bro dropped one of the hardest. What year was that? Like it won. Somebody had like critically acclaimed that motherfucker, bro. I can't remember the goddamn name of the goddamn album, bro. I ain't heard it in so fucking long, dog. But Pusha dropped one of the fucking hardest albums in like the past 5 years, bro. Crickets. That's what UMG suppressed his ass, bro. Makes all the fucking sense in the world, bro.
Or Drake, who you had less fruitful,
right?
We could call it a fruitful creative dialogue, some might say. But you're also a businessman, and you're savvy about the way you sell your product and promote your career. Like, do you have that push and pull where you think like, man, am I just never going to do an interview without these names being said? Like, does that keep you up at night?
Nah, it doesn't keep me up at night at all, man. Because I just feel like it's the game. And when you're in the game, this is what comes with it. Anybody who's a Clips fan, a Pusha T fan, if you follow me, like, this is all real shit.
It's pissing me off that I can't think of the name of his fucking album, bro. Deadbeat motherfucker. Only 5 million listeners. Daytona, bro. Daytona is tough. Daytona's so fucking tough, bro. I said past 5 years, though. That's 7 years ago.
Shit. This is all very real. This is happening in real time. You get my life in real time usually. If I say it's drama, it's drama. Mm-hmm. If I say it's drama, if I say that it happened, it really happened. I don't have it in me to lie. I don't have it. Mm-hmm. I don't care enough to lie. And as a matter of, like, listen, we paid for it. So it's my story.
Right. Why wouldn't it be?
Listen, had I not paid for it, you might not get the story.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. But you made me pay for it. So now this is the truth. And you have it. And mind you, while all of this is happening, I never complained out loud once about it. Mm-hmm. I never complained how the deck be stacked against me. I don't complain about verses and songs that don't come out and whatever. I never complained.
And I think people have taken advantage of the fact that you don't complain,
right?
That you don't
they can run with narratives,
talk, and people know that you're not gonna say nothing.
That's what they live off. That they know I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They know that. They know I'm not gonna do it.
They play it. They play it like a card because they know, that's not what you do, and. And the reason we have to
speak volumes that motherfucker dropped that damn story Adidon shit, cause Pusha ain't even messy like that, bro. It's like you really gotta push that motherfucker to the edge. You really gotta push that motherfucker to the edge. When you push that motherfucker to the edge, whoo, you getting cooked. But then record labels suppress him, dog. Cause Pusha be cooking. He be grilling motherfuckers, dog. You know what I'm saying? He done grilled the best of them, bro. It makes sense that bro hasn't gotten the attention that he deserves, bro, because of what's going on behind the scenes, dog. Because Pusha's been one of them.
To go on like this, however the game is played, like Pusha just said, we are going to play it that way. I'm just saying that it's unfortunate, that it has to go that way. Mm-hmm. When I think about things like censorship, in hip hop, rap is like the arts, entertainment. It's like the last frontier for black expression. Mm-hmm. This is what we have, and for any kind of censorship, it's egregious. Mm-hmm. It's to even think that could even happen. You know what I'm saying? And you're out here, you're on the road. It's sometimes it's dangerous. Like my brother, he's on the road. Some missing furs, your child's first this, first that, or whatever, and do all of that to be censored. Like, this is how I saw the game the first time. This is it. These kind of things is what I saw the first time, and it's how I look at it now. Right now, it's just, it's just different now.
And you've and like you say, you essentially bought back your right to speak your story.
Right.
That's it. There are some frisky bars on, at least on So Be It at the end. There's some frisky bars here.
As it should be.
You want to talk about the frisky bars?
Of course. Whatever.
Talk.
Hey, this album. This album, bro. This album cost them 7 figures to put down, bro. They finna go crazy. Bruh. Damn right this Rampage being what it is, pushing this fucking record, dog. Yeah, this shit, yo. Yeah, motherfucker, this shit got me lit right now.
Talk to me where's TMZ? Is TMZ on the speed dial? What are we doing here?
Then we wait for TMZ to leak it. It ain't no secret, so be it. Smoke.
That was just my perspective. Like the third verse was my perspective. It all came from actually being in Paris.
So be it.
This is culturally inappropriate.
Travis Scott, it came through carrying the Utopia briefcase.
Right. Yeah.
Doing his whole promotional spiel for his album.
Yeah.
He comes, he interrupts the session. The next day, the meltdown verse, or whatever comes on.
I melt down the chains that I bought from your boss. Give a fuck about all of that heritage shit.
Drake on Travis Scott talking about melting Pharrell's jewelry.
And all of that. And I'm just like, man, that was a corny. Like, you shouldn't have been here anyway.
If you knew you had
no, you didn't have to be here anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't, him specifically too. I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. Like I'm not into what his whole makeup. I just, I took it there.
Her utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat.
I took it there.
And then it's like the optics of it look crazy too, man, because it's the corniest. Based off what the fuck they saying. I mean, I don't know, but I know what the fuck I see too. And we live in a day and age of degeneracy being praised, right? We got the most degenerate, talentless idiots that get all this fucking attention, and then those that stand for something, right, have a code, have a moral code, do things the right way, loyal, got integrity and shit, they get suppressed. And when you out here doing the most, being fake as fuck, the sky's the fucking limit, bro. To me, it just showcases how fucked society is, bro, in regards to everything, bro. It's like bitches selling their fucking asshole to get a bag. Yeah, just selling your soul, bro. That's all it takes. You sell your soul, sky's the fucking limit. Right? When you do shit the right way, it's going the struggle is gonna be that much more strenuous. You got bitches giving up careers as attorneys to go sell asshole on OnlyFans. Right? Or, you got rappers out here getting bent over to pop. You know what I'm saying? You got the goons out here doing the fucking right way. They get silenced, bro. Because it's the way of the world, bro. So that's why I'm glad, even though, you never fucking know, bro. You can't trust anything you fucking see, man. But as far as like the whole Kendrick situation, why I appreciated it so much, bro, because up until that point, Kendrick was one of those seemingly that stood for something, did it his way, didn't give a fuck about trends or whatnot, bro. The dog dropped Mr. Morale, right? And look what it took to get him to the top of the fucking food chain, bro. It took him to expose the shit, play that fucking game, and get up there. It just shows how fucked everything is, bro. And it sends the wrong message to everybody, you know what I mean? Especially the kids, and how impressionable they are and how they're distracted by the bullshit. Like, the bullshit is much more alluring. The quick money is much more alluring. The quick attention is much more alluring. Cheap-ass dopamine thrills are much more alluring, as opposed to standing for something and doing it the fucking right way to get what the fuck you want, bro. It's like, what's the reward of that to these motherfuckers? Because they don't give a fuck about legacy. They don't give a fuck about their last name. They don't give a fuck about standing for nothing. It's just, give me, and I'll do whatever the fuck it takes to get it, bro. And that's why we have these fools out here who are on top of the world, bro. Because it don't take nothing to be on top of the world. It takes a lot to be on top of the world, actually, for me, because, and those who hold themselves to a standard, bro, because people like us, people like Pusha, people like those that resonate with the fuck I'm saying, you couldn't fathom doing anything that goes against your morals, or goes against what you stand for, that goes against your motherfucking integrity to get a bag. Right? It's like, I could be out here talking about all the other bullshit that's gonna get me views. Nah, but I stick to it. This is the path that I choose to go. And ain't nobody gonna sway me any other motherfucking direction, no matter how hard the journey or obstacles become, bro.
Like, I'm not into what his whole makeup. I just, I took it there.
Her utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping. She ain't need you to eat.
I took it there, and
because you felt like he was playing both sides.
Yeah, just playing both sides, and that's corny to me. And I've done a lot to get away from that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working on a Clips album. I'm working on the Clips album. I'm in with my brother and P. That's our circle.
That's the unit.
That's our unit. I'm out of that mix. I've been out of that mix. I know where he gets it from. That's fine. I'm cool. I'm done. And then to come back in our fold. To come to
make
invade,
a point of...
to invade the fold, and then do all that he did was like, man, that was corny.
Needless.
But I will say again, he's shameless. He does it. You've seen him do it to everybody,
including seemingly to Drake himself, right?
Like he's done it. He's done it to him. He's done it to Ye. Now he's done it. He got to pull it off in this capacity in the clips, and it's fine. It's just what he does. I just could not speak to it.
Sure.
I've definitely had to put my hand on your shoulder before. You died in front of me. You cried in front of me. Mm-hmm. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Woo! Like I had to tell you, I had to help you. I did. And it's like, people take that type of shit for granted. I don't take that for granted. Mm-hmm. I don't. And I don't, but it's fine. Like, like I said, I'm not even.
Yeah. You just put it in the music.
So
yeah,
man.
You're in this air clearing
So
mode.
be it. So be it.
Right.
That's the idea. Mm-hmm. So be it. So be it. But you need to understand what I think about you. You just need to understand what I think about
Travis
you.
ain't gonna say shit.
On the first single for this album, Ace Trumpets, you allude to that situation with Kanye, and you say, some of you guys are still waiting on him, and essentially, I'm done being a part of this, with what you guys have termed a mess, and waiting my turn, etc. Like, when you think back on the years that you spent in the fold with Kanye West and Good Music and helping run that business, obviously you guys made a lot of great work.
Yes.
Probably had some great times.
Yes.
You saw the world.
Yes.
Do you regret moments where you might have held your tongue?
No, it was because it was only me. It was only me. So no.
So you considered it a job. You're like, I'm here.
Yeah. Only you that could have seen it that way? Or
no, it was only me that, I don't even know if I ever held my tongue. I always spoke to everything. Mm-hmm. But, I spoke to it. And when I spoke to it, what you do with that information or what you do,
right.
In taking advice or perspective from me, that's what you do. But I don't regret any of it. We made great music. It was a great time.
Did you stay too long?
No. I think that's the problem. Mm-hmm. I think the problem is I've always had motion. I've always had things to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not a person who has to sit up under. Mm-hmm.
Kept yourself busy.
Right. I put out albums. I put out great albums. Mm-hmm. I would say that I put out some of the best music of the fold. Mm-hmm. That to me, along with the fact of just me being me, allows me to be, have my perspective, and I speak it.
Is there any heartbreak associated with the fact that the center of that did not hold, and then had to part ways?
It's no heartbreak because he is not a person that we ain't the same. We can't outside of music. We're nothing.
Clearly,
you and Kanye.
Yeah, we can't be anything outside of music. Like music is where we clicked. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, his
antics,
his principles, his morals, his mindset, we don't see eye to eye hardly ever.
Sure.
Ever. And we never have. I've said it a lot of times. Mm-hmm. We don't.
I saw you smiling, Malice, a little bit.
Because you're on the. I seen him out there. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on with him. I watch him. I watch him close. I watch him like my mom would watch him, and to know what's going on. And my brother just we come from just loyalty to a fault. If you're my friend, you're my friend. You know what I'm saying? And I just seen him in the mix of people who I don't think reciprocated. I'm talking about, through his career. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, he just looked like a lone wolf out there. You know what I'm saying? But, still holding up his principles and his ethics and standing on business the way he stands on business.
Were you wanting to call him back and say you don't have to be the lone wolf?
No, I Listen, it's good to be the lone wolf sometimes.
It is
good to be the lone wolf sometimes. Yeah,
everybody knows.
Yeah, it's no
they
sympathy.
Can see it. Yeah.
That's tough.
That's how you move out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man, that's how you
if
move.
You're a man.
Listen, if
you're a man.
If you're a man.
Only if you're a man, though. Because if you ain't a man,
you're in trouble.
You can't move like this.
Yeah.
Well, you got to flip-flop and kiss ass and do all the,
antics, bullshit.
Backbiting and
reality TV is mud wrestling. A wise man once said.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. Kidding me?
Sure.
Now that you guys are back. You guys, come on. Pharrell.
Yeah, that was it, bro. Hey, yeah, we gonna run this, bro. We gonna run this, dog. Shit, and then they look like they gonna let me eat off this shit too, bro, because I posted the reaction to Trumpets on YouTube, bro, because, they split it. So I'm cool with it, bro. I'll do we run through the album on the YouTube, bro. If it's permitted. If not, you know where to find me. Patreon. Pull up any fucking way. Come to the Patreon, man. It's dope, bro. But yeah, this shit got me excited, dog. The story made that shit hit even more, bro. They had to pay $7 million to get out that contract. Then they gotta pay these motherfuckers off the top with the album release, bro. So they not gonna make no money off this fucking album unless this shit run the fuck up, bro. So hopefully they got some bombs. They're going to have some bombs, but like some reaction-worthy fucking songs, some ones that, require some breakdown. Not even breakdown, bro. Just, the drama. Just bring the shit. You know what I'm saying? Captivate the world. You know what I'm saying? And drop multiple story of Adidon's, dog, because sound like there's a lot that Pusha himself is going to get up off his chest on this motherfucker, bro. And they got this shit started off right. Yeah. Anyway, though, we out here, though. Grind to grow, growing the ground at the goddamn time. Sknightnation, Night Watch. Lay y'all motherfuckers, man.